Hello, folks out there. This episode of the podcast is partnered by Audible. Greg, you know what I love about Audible?
What do you love about Audible,
I
John?
don't have to pick up a book anymore and carry it around with me. In fact, I carry it around in my phone, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. They literally keep thousands of titles right on your phone, accessible at any time when you're driving, when you're cooking, when you're mowing the lawn, changing a diaper, doesn't matter. It's all right there at your fingertips, John. They've got podcasts, they've got lectures, they've got some like health and wellness and like fitness series on there that if you just are looking for something to fill that gap, like you're not getting into a book right now, it's all there for you, man.
If you're a member, Greg, what's cool about it is you get 3 titles per month. The first one, you can pick whatever you want. Like I've said, I'll probably start hitting up some of those health and wellness books. And then what's awesome is they have 2 Audible exclusives. Exclusives, folks. You can't get it anywhere else.
It's true. That is very true. So if you guys want to get on the Audible train, you can go to audibletrial.com/JATG. That stands for Johnny and the Greg. Hook yourself up with a 30-day free trial. No promises, no nothing. If you don't like it, which I can't imagine you're not going to like it, you can cancel at any time. But the great thing about that is the books you get during your free trial, or if at any time, those books are yours. Like you get to keep them. You can listen to them nonstop, anytime, all the time.
Sounds like a deal to me, man. So if you guys are smart, like I know you guys are, because you already listen to this podcast, sign yourself up, guys. What do you got to lose? It's 30-day free trial, and it's books, it's knowledge. Gotta drink it up.
It is. It is. So one more time, it is audibletrial.com/JATG. Oh, are we on?
And we are on.
You feel better now?
Oh.
Feel better letting that go?
Getting myself a little drink. Don't worry.
We're all getting ourselves a little drink. Welcome to Johnny and the Greg, and we have with us Tina.
What?
Okay, guys, for everybody that knows, this is probably going to go a little bit into Green Bay, but not a whole lot. I'm wearing the hat because I lost the bet again. The other 2 guests happen to be Green Bay Packer fans. So, congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Green
I got the bye.
Green Bay won a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It was actually interesting because as I'm watching that game, I'm thinking to myself, the Bears are playing pretty good, but it never felt like they had any shot.
Right. Yeah, I actually did think that. They looked I guess,
The first drive.
the range of things. Yeah, I thought the Bears looked pretty good compared to how I've seen them look in other parts of the season.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when the opposing quarterback has a 153.8, I think, rating, how do you get better than that? I mean,
you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. I think he's
Rodgers.
He's at 121. He beat his record.
I thought they had him at 153 for that game though.
For that game.
Because his average was
for that game. He was at like a 153, and it's like,
yeah, you can't.
I heard a stat today that I think sums up your whole season. Aaron Rodgers has thrown more touchdown passes than you guys have punted.
Yes, I did see that.
I don't think that's ever happened.
I think it I thought I saw that stat, and they said it did happen once before, when Aaron Rodgers did it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So yeah, we get or I say the Packers get the bye week for the first.
It's we get the bye week. We worked hard at all the Bears,
You had people over, right? You had people over.
Yeah,
right?
I had people over.
How'd that go?
How many people did you have over?
Under
it was
10.
less than 10.
It was less than 10.
It was
tested. Oh, everybody's fine. Yeah,
So
it's
temperatures
the people
as they
that I
walked in the
see.
door?
Everybody was hot. Not hotter than me, but no, I'm just kidding.
So speaking of hotter than you, hang on. Speaking of hotter than you, we're just going to transition because you have, that's great. You guys kicked our ass again. It's expected now. You shouldn't brag about it anymore. Anyway, moving on.
Talking about the '85 Super Bowl.
No. Don't say you guys. I never bring up the '85.
That's true. John does
ever.
Not. Because you're a football fan.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason we have you on today, Tina, is because kind of January's that time of year where everybody does that New Year's resolution and they're all getting fit. They're joining that gym. They're buying that Peloton bike. They're buying a membership somewhere. And around January 25th, we all start going back to how we used to be.
Around your birthday, yes.
Yeah. So what I want people to focus on, or what I wanted to bring on, are people that probably did that sometime in their life, and then once something happened to where they just said, you know what, no more of that shit. I'm going to actually stay committed. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to not drink as much. I'm going to drop some bad habits. I'm going to start creating some positive momentum that'll carry me on. And I think, God, since I met you, you've come so far. I'm trying to give it more props than that, but you've come a lot. You've come far, and it's been a process, which I don't think a lot of people understand, that it is a process of give and take, yin and yang, ups and downs. So I wanted to talk to you about that, as comfortable as you are with it, because I think your journeys could inspire a lot of people that are, I don't know, it's like they're waiting for something. So take us there. Take us there with that moment where you were feeling, I guess, down in the dumps about however you felt, which, by the way, you look fantastic. You never, in my opinion, looked bad. But I think personal change for people is always an individual choice. It's kind of like religion. You can't force personal change on somebody. They have to choose it.
They just like quitting smoking or anything else. Shit.
So take me to that one day where you were, I don't know, whenever you decided to make the change.
Go ahead, Greg. You were going to ask.
Well, I think along those lines, and because you and I met face to face for the first time
back in July when I did the beard.
August, something like
August, something like that.
And it was right around that time that we became also Facebook friends, and that's something where anytime you get a new friend on Facebook, it's somebody
you go back and you look at everybody.
You stalk their pictures like there's no tomorrow.
Yes, that's true.
So that's something that my wife and I both did, because you were kind of that too. And so we saw, because we saw you then, we see you, and even now. I mean, you're glowing right now. Going back to some of your older pictures, you're going, wow, she really did. I mean, you made some choices there that it looked like a drastic change.
Yeah.
And it was the little things in the pictures where your smile got bigger. It got more, like your eyes lit up more during a lot of those pictures. So yeah, I think what John's, what was that initial decision, and what drove that decision to be like, I got to start taking care of myself in a better way?
So I guess what it is that I see myself every single day, and I see myself in a way that nobody else does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's without any clothing. And if you don't like the way that you look underneath by yourself, it doesn't matter how much clothing you put on. It doesn't matter how much makeup you put on. It doesn't matter how much you hide it to make it look like it's not there, but it's there. So I was just tired of hating myself. Just not there's a lot of things. I think I was just tired, literally tired, physically tired. I was up and down in my weight loss and my yo-yoing so much that I know what works and what doesn't, but it's my willpower and it's my my determination and my just want for it. And I think I just got to the point that, like, after TJ was born, Not that he's a reason, but it's a better reason. You have somebody else that's looking up to you that you
Sure.
can shape and mold, right?
Absolutely.
But like, I just didn't want to look like that anymore. I know what I want to look like, and I know that it's going to take time. And every time I look back at any of those pictures or show like that one picture where I have my broken foot and I'm holding TJ, that is the worst picture. And I think looking at that picture was the reason that kept me going. You know, I always had some sort of goal, whether it was a weight goal or a clothing goal or something that was attainable in some form, you know. And I think it was just I didn't want to feel like that anymore. I didn't want to look like every time I looked in the mirror, oh, what's this and what's that? And the only person that's going to change it is me.
Right.
Nobody else is going to do it. So I just know that putting that work in and just staying the course, however long it is, it's taken me 17 years.
Hold on. 17 years?
More than that. I've been heavy my entire life, but since I moved out and since I graduated high school and became a hairstylist, it was just me. So it's me at my apartment, me on my own, not my mom, not my stepdad, not my sister.
Yeah.
So for the last 17 years of my life, I'm the only one truly in charge of it, right?
Right.
So who else was going to do it for me?
Okay. So what was the first thing you did? What was the first? I like to think of these small steps as momentum, right? Positive momentum that it's almost like a little snowflake that lands on a high hill and it starts rolling and it becomes this big snowball. Correct. And I think you can do that with positive momentum and negative momentum. And except I feel negative momentum is an easier path to roll down versus a positive momentum. But once you start that momentum, it can really help. And I think so. I guess going back to it, what was the first thing? What was the first thing you decided to change? Was it just waking up earlier or going to bed earlier or quit eating donuts? Not that you did. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think the very, very first thing was watching my sister in karate for so many years. Like I used to go a lot, when she was a lot younger, and then I moved out and she kept going and I didn't keep going. But I did go to kickboxing at that same studio. So I think my very first, no, I lied. My very, very first step towards it was my gastric bypass when I was 19. There we go.
19.
I was like, all right, let's go. No, I have to go back even further. So what happened?
Yeah. Well, I'm just putting up the picture that I think you're talking about.
Oh, the pink. Yeah,
It's a comparison one that you
Yes.
did.
I can't see it, Greg.
I can't see it, but
I see black.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
all
just black.
Oh,
there we go. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah. This is okay. So,
and that's
6
even
years
longer
ago.
because no, that's even longer. That was 3 years ago or 2 years ago that I posted this one. If you go even further, like not further back, but further recently, like more recent, then you'll see that it's like it's an 8 year because TJ wasn't even a year old there, and I had broken my foot, and TJ's 9. So TJ, that was when TJ was not even a year. So this is 8 years ago.
Okay.
That I was that heavy. So this.
Well, just looking at this transition that you made, is pretty amazing. I mean, from the picture here with the broken foot to this picture in the lower left and the kind of Hawaiian
dress.
Yeah, I mean
that was my favorite dress too. My boobs, man, they went away. Everybody commented on, they're like, "Where the hell did it go?" And I was like, "Well, that was a Victoria's Secret bra too." So
you know what's funny? If you really look at these pictures, Tina, you can see.
Yep.
You can see the face of Greg. Greg said it well. Like you can see a smile get bigger and bigger, and actual a smile of being incredibly proud.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Now here's the thing. Now if you keep going, you can go forward. So in these pictures, like all these pictures up until right here, if you stop, there you go. Oh, that's the Sox game. So I look horrible in this one. you see how like the whatever you call it, my shirt, the thingy, whatever that you're calling it, the jacket.
Yeah.
I'm hiding a lot of my weight
Mm-hmm.
in that area. You know, like my sister, she's really good at it. Our friend in the middle, Ashley, she's really good at it. Like they all can. Me, I was like, I had to get like a whole huge, like hide 2/3 of my body. You know.
Right. So
And
let me stop you there for a second. Okay. I want to touch on a point that I don't think a lot of guys actually understand. Because I think when a guy gains weight,
Ooh, my
I think
friend.
guys and
Here. Oh
girl
yeah.
I think guys and girls have this. It's different. It's much
Yeah.
more different.
Yeah.
If a
He
guy
doesn't hide
gets
his weight.
a guy usually won't hide his weight. He may not wear certain things that accentuate his weight, but most of the time he's not hiding his weight. So
Right.
when so take me there, Tina. Help me understand what that feels. I can't imagine it feels good, but like I guess what I'm asking is it crippling? It could that
Okay, so I can take you through the emotions of and
yeah.
like it's basically like a roller coaster, right? So what I mean, I've been heavy all my life. When I was younger, I mean, it was supposedly it was competitions with my grandma of who can get to the second plate. My mom would tell me that, and it just food was always really comforting, right? So
Mhm.
when I ended up getting the gastric bypass, it was kind of almost like I felt like it was my last resort because I had already done like the Jenny Craig, I had done Weight Watchers, I had done a lot of, at
Mm-hmm.
19, and I was already at 250 pounds at
So let
19
me stop you there for 1 second. Why do you think those didn't work?
because there was no true commitment to it. I think
Okay.
I think you have to hit rock bottom
Okay.
in your own way.
Well,
Why is Greg not there? Why is he not?
Greg's there. Greg's there.
No, I
I'm
don't
here.
see him.
I see him right now. We're good.
I'm
Well,
still
I,
here.
Just keep talking. Most don't worry about it if you can see him right now. Just keep telling your
okay.
story.
So
Um, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
No,
when you're
go
bringing up those weight loss places, I mean, with those
ahead.
programs,
Hmm.
um, I think there's a level of sustainability because I'm kind of in the same boat you are, not now, but I mean, in that struggling with weight, and I've seen, I mean, my mom struggled with weight, and she's still, and mom's in her 70s, and she puts, well, I've aged my mother. She's going to kill me for that one. She's approaching 70. Um, she still puts so much value. I mean, she's been married for over 40 years. So much value on her weight.
Hmm.
And finding, I mean, you had to fight that mental battle, which I know like Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig are getting better at, but it is still, you need to find sustainability. And that's something that you found, is not just the physical sustainability, but the mental sustainability.
I think one of the major things. Sorry, I'm gonna turn off my thing. Um, I think another thing is I love to cook. I love to make my I love to make my own stuff. And the thing is that like here, I made my own noodles. Like those are fettuccine and spaghetti noodles, and I have biscotti up in here with my own
Ooh.
like with my own bread, and I make a lot of my stuff because I know what's going to be in it, you know? And so I also think that I have I'm lucky to be able to have the type of lifestyle that I can sustain that kind of eating if
Mm-hmm.
I really put my mind to it. One of the major things is like everybody wants to go out, everyone wants to eat out, and they want to they want to socialize with food. And my main thing is I honestly do love to have people around me, and I love to feed people. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's like it's even better. And no, not everything is the healthiest things, but but it's all in moderation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other problem is that you have all of these things thrown in your face, and it's like, oh, the low carb this and the keto that, and it's like you're putting more preservatives and more crap into your body than if you were to just literally go make it yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I have I've made that one of my priorities just because I love to cook. That's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So, after I had gastric bypass, I not only had to learn how to eat again, I had to learn how to live in a society that doesn't truly care about people's health,
Right.
because they don't. They don't.
No, I think during this pandemic, that's blatantly obvious.
I got off one of my blood pressure medicines, and I called the pharmacist to be like, "Hey, can I use the other one that I got off of until my new one, my refill?" And she said, "Why are you off? Why did he take you off?" And I said, "Because I don't need it, because I lost enough
Mm-hmm.
weight, because." And
Yeah.
she said, "Well, I got to check in." And she came back to, and this is the pharmacist, and I said, "All I want to know is if I can just take my low dose of the one that I stopped in place of this one for 2 days until you get me my new one."
Right.
And once I finally said, "I don't need the blood pressure medicine. I don't need it because I did what I was supposed to do to get off of it." She was like, "Oh, okay, good. Like, isn't that what I was supposed to do? Wasn't I supposed to get better at eating and exercise and lose the weight so that I didn't have to be on medication for the rest of my life?" And that's
That's just
upset me.
un-American. I mean, let's
That's
face
right.
it.
Yeah.
That's not the way you're
That
supposed to do
upset me.
You're supposed
No.
to just take a pill to fix it for
Yep.
the
But
rest of your life.
that's another thing. And Johnny knows this. He knows I love my spicy water. I haven't drank any alcohol since October 18th of 2019.
Awesome. So let me ask you a question right there. Let me stop you with that, because I'm
Yeah.
actually doing dry January, where
Yeah.
I feel like I came out of some sort of a drunken stupor during my vacation, and which kicked off with our Christmas special, Greg. And
Oh my
I
God.
didn't look back until then, but I realized that I need a break. And 3 days into it, I already feel a little bit clearer. I don't feel like I'm being dragged, like I'm not dragging. How do you feel? Like, how does
Amazing.
yeah?
A
It's actually crazy.
thousand, a thousand times better. Here's the thing. I
See yourself
sleep.
going back?
Huh?
You see yourself going back drinking
No.
more or no? No.
No, no. I think I'm done. I say I think only because I know that life is going to be thrown at me, and at some point I'm going to have a drink, maybe. But let me backtrack on this.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking because my blood pressure was just way too high. My blood pressure was literally
Mhm.
resting at 169 over 100. I don't sleep. I do not sleep very well at all whatsoever. I cannot take sleep medication because I literally will walk out of the house and I don't know where I'll be.
Mhm.
I sleepwalk. I get out. The doctors have told me I cannot take sleep medication. The fact that I can take melatonin, and I will take 5 of them at 5 milligrams, and I still won't. I mean, I'll be drowsy. I might fall
Mhm.
asleep for a little bit. My doctor even said I can run on 4 to 5 hours. That's just my physical body, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I was drinking, honestly, just so that I could go to sleep.
Right. I remember you telling me about that.
Literally, it was just so that I could go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get 9 or 10 hours of sleep, because I would be in bed, right? I would tell you, like, after 9 o'clock, you can count me as a freaking pumpkin. It's 9:30, almost 9:30, and I'm like, I can stay up till 2 o'clock. But that's besides the coffee, you know, um, it the alcohol gave me the sleep, but it was horrible. I would wake up in the morning and I was just like a fog.
Yeah.
It was just like I felt like this the whole time, like just
So you were medicating with alcohol is
yeah,
bad. I mean, I don't know if anybody
very
ever
bad.
says that that's a good thing.
No.
So yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, and drinking doesn't affect me like that. So when people, I mean, and I'm surprised it doesn't, because again, not to bring up my mom again, but she's like, if she has a drink, she feels like crap the next day. Like she'll have half a spritzer or a wine cooler, and she's like, I'll have a headache the whole next day. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happens, but
I didn't know. I guess I didn't realize that I was not hungover, but I didn't realize that I was a form of it every single day. And what's really, really funny is that one of my clients, he's like, Tina, your haircuts in the morning are like on point. Like he would always go in the morning, and then at night he went one time and he's like, something was just a little off. And I'm like, probably the alcohol's still in my system. I don't know. Like you're at my house. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what to tell you. The alcohol's still in my system. It was always a joke. It was always a running joke.
How much were you drinking to achieve sleep?
Honestly, I had to measure it because when I went to counting my calories, I really had to measure it, and I was doing 12 shots.
Okay. Oh, so you're drinking
hard stuff or beer
of vodka vodka.
Okay.
And now, how do you sleep now?
I sleep like shit, but I sleep better in the 4 hours that I get the whole night than I honestly do. Like I still can. Quantity. Yeah, it really is. It really, really is.
Well, time out for a second. So I think, okay, I might be jumping over a bridge here, but I think you said your doctor told you that you can function on 5 to 4 hours of sleep. Now, if that's your natural chemistry, like if that's your natural biology, where like I know some people, I don't know, but I've heard of a lot of people that have that clock, and they're fine. So I guess what I'm getting at is maybe you thought you were supposed to get 9 to 10 hours of sleep instead of just get 4.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, and so you were over medicating yourself because you thought, well, everybody has to get 8 hours of sleep. That's the recommended dosage. And and maybe that was never for you, which by the way, I'm very jealous. I wish I could be people that could just get 4 and
I want to sleep. That's the thing. Like and here's the thing. There was a girl that worked at the shop at one point for only a brief period of time, and she would see me like by the end of my day. And John, you know this. My level of energy is just a lot higher than a lot of people naturally. That she said, she's like, but Tina, like you are drained. At the end of the day, you can see your face is just done.
Wait,
and I'm
now or before?
No, when she was working with me like 2 years ago or whatever, a year and a half ago at the shop. She was only there for like 6 weeks, but she told me, she's like, your level, your energy is way up there, but like you're drained by the end of the day. And I'm like, yeah, and I thought that it was that I just needed more of that, like eight hours sleep or whatever. But literally the doctor, the last time I saw him, he's like, you can function on 4 to 6 hours. Like that's your body.
I remember reading Amy Poehler. She's a comedian. She was on Saturday Night Live for a long time.
I like her. Yeah.
I don't know if it's her first book that she wrote, but she talks about that, like, especially after she had her first kid. Her sleep schedule got all jacked up, and she became super sharp and active when everybody else would go to bed. And she fought it for years and years. And more or less, like, her bio clock just flipped. It was like it happened while she was nursing. Like, her bio clock just flipped. So then she was like trying to force herself to sleep during the hours that everybody else was. But then eventually said, through medications and other things, she's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Stopped all that stuff. And now she does her best writing and work when the rest of us are asleep. And that's just how she functions. And then she'll sleep like during the day. Like she's got like a natural third shift bio clock.
Oh, okay.
And so like she doesn't go to bed, and then she gets her kids up and off to school. As the kids go to school, she goes to bed, and then has business meetings and stuff in the afternoon and at night. So it's just how she functions. And I bring that up to say how like the American work day we're finding doesn't fit for everybody all the time. And that people are making more adjustments now than they ever did before.
Yeah.
In terms of like scheduling and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's all right because I know so much of the background of all this. I feel like I'm I'm
You
not.
can steer me in the way that you want me to talk.
Well, no, I feel like
you
no,
know
no,
me,
no.
like I can bounce.
I feel like I'm not letting a lot of people know. Kind of like when I first met you, Tina, it was about 5, maybe 6 years ago, if I'm counting right. And
Yeah.
um, I didn't think you were in bad shape, but you could tell you weren't happy. That's what I saw. I didn't see somebody that was happy.
Yeah.
I saw somebody that, like most people, put on a good show, but at the end of the day, they weren't happy. And I'm not saying like, anyway, they just weren't happy. And I think a big part of this, it sounds like so far as you're telling your story, was you didn't find your true self. Like you didn't find who Tina was.
I'm still trying.
I
I'm
think
still
we all
trying.
are, but what I'm saying is I feel you're on the path to where you're going to find your true self, and that makes you happy. And that also provides motivation, and that's what's keeping you on track. Am I hitting that right? Or
That, and I mean, I was in a really, really, really bad relationship.
yeah.
TJ's dad and it was not a good relationship, and a lot of my weight. When he first met me, I was really thin. I was 148 pounds. And then I got pregnant and I gained the 104 during the pregnancy. And then I broke my foot, and then it just never got better, you know?
Yeah.
So not only was that our relationship not good, then my weight on top of that. And then, I could never get myself out of it. To be very honest, the moment I left him was the moment that I focused back on me instead of all of the shit between us.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I know I'm not a bad person. I know I'm not a selfish person, but I have to be selfish so that I can at least be around to see my kid grow up.
No, you have to self-care.
Yeah.
That's not being selfish. Like, because if
Right.
you're not in the right frame of mind and you're raising a child, guess
Oh,
what? He's not going to be in
it's-
the right frame of mind.
Right.
Um,
So I think those go in hand in hand. I think that when you met me, that was in the middle of not a great time at the shop either. So like a lot of things weren't going my way at that time in general, and the only thing I can control is my weight.
right.
So whether I did it I've done it in a very positive way. Like
Right.
I've
And so
done
I
it in
want
a healthy way.
right.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna move you forward in that,
Mhm.
because I think where you found your path was we went off track, but you said like you watched your sister do martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw you join that kickboxing class, and I saw how much fun and how much confident you were getting from those classes, like go into that for me.
Yeah. So I actually met Master Tommy at the shop as well. And it was like a year after him and I had started talking that I finally found out that he had owned the studio. And it was like going and getting into something that was just so like I personally loved, that I know you didn't like, because it was like your body's not gonna sustain that the whole entire your whole
Wait,
entire life.
what?
But
What?
kickboxing, remember how you said like the boxing, and how doing that as long term is just not gonna be good for my body, remember?
No, I never said that.
Yes you did,
No, I wouldn't have said that. That's not true.
because of the hitting, the pounding. Remember when
Oh
I
no. Oh, okay. All right. But okay.
in general, not
Yeah.
that do you understand what I'm saying? Not okay,
Yeah.
I'm not
No.
trying to
No.
get you in trouble with your.
No.
Remember
No.
how,
No.
because you were, because of your whole the whole CrossFit, and the whole thing was you wanted people to be able to um later on in life be able to get up and sit up and move around and do things without hurting themselves, so
Right.
so that was the conversation that I remember. Okay, so basically with going into kickboxing, it got my not anger out, but it got my like frustration out too.
Of course.
I
That's
could
therapeutic for
physically,
sure.
very much so, instead of just like lifting weights, yay, I could actually punch things and not go to jail. It was fantastic. So finding that, though, I had to make sure that that was also a priority. I couldn't just let it be like an every once in a while. If I wanted it to work, I needed to do it more often. So I focused and I went to the studio 3 times a week. But not only that, when I had started doing Taekwondo later on, I was also doing kickboxing and Taekwondo. And what happened was that I ended up popping my bicep, and I remember
Popping
it
it. Time out.
like
Popping it.
like yeah,
Or
like I
It detached.
it just kind of popped. It like popped inside my. I couldn't throw a punch. I couldn't do anything for a very long time with this arm, and it was like very very mentally hard on me because when I went into the back office and Tommy gave me
Mr.
an ice
Miyagi.
pack. Yeah, Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, basically, right? Yeah, TJ loves it when I do that. He's like, Tina, here's the thing, like your body and your mind are at two different levels. He's like,
Mhm.
your mind is up here, but your body has to try to catch up to it. He's like, so you're trying to go and do it because you know you want to, but your body has to catch up. Your body has to go through its process, you know? He's like, you're here all the time. You need to take a break. And I had to be forced to take a break because I hurt myself. So not
That's
only was
time out.
I,
That's what we were talking about.
oh
That's what I
yeah,
was telling you.
yes,
That hurt
yes,
yourself, you're gonna burn out.
correct,
That's what I was saying. Okay.
yes,
All
yes.
right. So all
And
those boxers
so,
and martial artists out there, don't come find me. I didn't say
no, no. But you also said if there's a push, you got to do a pull. If you have to do an opposite of something, so that's when it's like
I want
yoga,
functional fitness.
huh?
I think functional fitness is better than just chest buys and tries type working out.
Right. And when I joined Taekwondo, everything just fit together very well. And then my kickboxing got better and my Taekwondo got like my kicks just got everything just worked better, you know. So I
Were,
tried to keep that.
was the kickboxing like a cardio style kickboxing where it was
Yes.
just hitting them? Okay. And I can see where that comes from because having studied Taekwondo, one of the first things that I had to unlearn was kind of what you're talking about was that go hard, like that
Yep.
constant go hard. And I see that in a lot of cardio kickboxing classes where, and it doesn't matter man or woman, they're hitting the bag and they're just driving at that
Yeah.
bag. Like
Right.
they're working some shit out, just bam, bam,
Right.
bam. And
Right.
in a Taekwondo where they're teaching you the skill and the art of everything, it's more about, you go soft until it's
You
so
need to.
automatic that it becomes hard. I mean,
Yep.
it's that kind of that
Baby
be
steps.
like, well,
Yeah.
it's the
Baby.
be like water kind of thing. I mean, water can be soft, but it can also kill a man. I mean, it's just kind of that
Two
concept of that. So
inches. Yeah.
I can totally see where um that piece of your journey there of being in kickboxing, feeling great, working out. I think there's something very therapeutic about going at
Hmm.
a bag for any amount of time.
And not
But
only
then,
that, but like my cooking is my other therapy. So not only am
Mhm,
I using like my working out, but I'm also using the thing that got me to have to work out in the first place.
mhm.
So I'm trying
So
to
it's all
find a
fitting
love of
together.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then getting into the actual martial art piece
Hmm.
of it, and actually learning that,
Hmm.
I can totally understand that piece of the journey. I think that's great.
Yeah.
There's one of the rules in Taekwondo, which is called which is the fifth rule, which is indomitable spirit, which is,
Hmm.
never give up. Like you just have that spirit, you just never give up. And I think that if you're not self-aware and if you're not really looking at how you're feeling, you're not going to get to the next step no matter what. It's like those 12 steps of like you go through denial and all that other crap of
Yeah.
it's the same type of thing, and I know I'm still going through it.
I want to hit on that for a second here because I think that's a really important part that a lot of people use as an excuse. I don't have time, Tina, to sit there and like if I'm not feeling well, I got to get to work. I don't have time to worry about my feelings. I got to get to work because I got to support my kid. I want a lot of people to understand that Tina is a single mother who, when you broke it off in your relationship with your son's father, you had to be a single mother, raise a boy, and pay the bills and work your ass off. And somehow, some way, you found time. Right. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's encouraging. Like, I grew up from a single mother, so I know the struggle of I don't have time. I just got to make it through the day. I can't worry about how I feel. I can't worry about um, you know, dedicating time to myself because my son's hungry. I don't have enough money. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent. And I'm talking about what went through on in my house, not necessarily that went on in
Right.
your house, but any, I'm raising a daughter right now with my wife, and the main thing that my wife and I always look at each other is, and we say it almost religiously, is I don't know how anybody does this alone. You know, and so when I watched my mother do it, and I've watched you do it, and that's not easy. Now, putting that self-care into the mix can be almost overwhelming to the point where you want to give up. So that's what I want a lot of people to understand, is that this isn't a housewife that just has oodles of time to do this. This is a working mom who's trying to raise a son in this world, and that's commendable. And you're getting teary-eyed, and you should,
Yeah.
because the journey is hard, and the journey's supposed to be hard. Just nobody tells you that.
I think I know everybody says that I'm a single mom. I am a single mom to a child, right? But like, I got help with a lot of people, with TJ, with just with my work. I mean, I did a lot of hair out of the house. I still do a lot of hair out of the house because any little bit that was going to help me get to where I literally am sitting right now was worth it. And him going to the studio with me, I mean, if Master Tommy didn't allow him to be there while I was kickboxing, how was I going to do it?
Right.
If I couldn't go there, I put my DVDs in and I did it at home. I had support from everybody, and I think a lot of people think that they're alone in it, and they're not. And I think the more that you talk about your situation, whether it's gaining weight or losing weight or maintaining or anything, I think there's a lot more support out there than people really realize. But you're raising a girl.
Yeah.
Greg has girls.
Mm-hmm.
I have a boy, and I have a boy that's very sensitive, and he sees me. He sees everything. He sees me yelling. He sees me crying. He sees me throwing things when I don't get, like, when I get frustrated. The other day, the washer broke again, and I was like, all right, and I handled it still angrily, and I went to his room and I was like, I did better than last time. And I gave him a high five, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, not as much yelling and not as much throwing. High five. And it's like, I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody has all the answers. I just do as best as I can.
Right.
And I think that's great that he sees that. I mean, that he sees those struggles, that he sees you handling it. And
I tell him it's not the best way. I tell him, I'm like, I know it isn't. I know it's not. It's just my way at this moment.
But that's just it. He's seeing that improvement as well. I mean, if you're saying, hey, I did better than last time, he's seeing that, oh, you don't have to be perfect every single time. It's not a perfect world. Shit's going to happen. As long as you're handling it as best you can.
Right.
That's part of that journey. I mean, that's part of too many people try to sweep that stuff under the rug or not let their kids see it, and then they get into a relationship and they have no clue how to handle conflict, how to handle those up and downs because their parents hid it from them. And now they're stuck. And now they're like, well, now what do we do? Well, I guess we get divorced, or I guess we, burn the house down or something. I don't know because I don't know how to handle this.
No, that's a really strong point. My mother was a single mother. I think she got in her way as much as she got out of her way, but her main problem was alcoholism. And
Mm,
the only thing I really remember about my mother is the one thing I could always say, because she wasn't perfect, nobody is, but that woman life could throw her a punch and she'd fall hard, but that girl always got up. And as a kid, I remember that. And I take that with me every time life throws a punch at me. You know what I mean? So to piggyback off of what Greg is saying, Tina, he's absolutely right. Like, you're providing so much support and strength by your character and your actions. And you're even sitting there. The fact that you were like, hey, you know what? I'm progress. Greg loves to say it. Actually, I love to repeat it. He said it once, but I love to repeat it ad nauseum. Progress is a moving target. And that's what you're doing, with the washer, like, you yelled the first time and you got frustrated. This time is a little bit better, so on and so forth. So he's right.
well,
Yeah.
and kind of the point that I want to hit on, and what I really wanted to get into is that, everybody's got, that fitness journey of like going from wherever you're at to where you want to be.
Mhm.
And, you worked out like this, you ate like this, you were able to make it sustainable. But we hear so many people, and I guess I say we, and that John probably hears this too. And I've met a lot of women, some guys, but a lot of women who do that journey, get to that goal weight, and then realize
It's
it's
harder.
not making them happy.
Yeah.
Like they still are looking in the mirror going, damn it. But you've done the work, you hit your goals. And that's, how do you combat that? How do you still, when you've hit that what you thought was physical perfection, like this is what the thing that was going to make you happy.
Right.
And then when you find out it doesn't, or it's not like what you thought. And I'm not saying that that's what's happened to you. I just know that this has happened to a lot of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that, and I saw it with guys like, man, if I could get up to a 250 bench, well, you got 250 bench, and now what? Are you,
Life didn't get better.
yeah, like you didn't win the lottery, and now you don't have bills to
Girls
pay
are
anymore,
so
and your relationships are perfect. Yeah, and I think especially with women who have had children, like they just want to get back to that pre-baby weight or pre-baby body or whatever it is, and then when they get there, they go, huh, okay.
Yeah.
So how did you fight that? How did you
How do you fight
overcome
that?
that? Or how? Yeah.
I mean, so if you go back to the picture that you had first put on there with like all the different pictures,
Mhm.
I hid literally my baggage, all of my stomach from all of the weight that I had lost and gained and lost and gained. I have technically lost an accumulative of 300 pounds because I've gained 100 pounds 3 separate times and I've lost it, right? So this morning I was 149.5 when my lowest weight so far to date is 146.8. But I got that like about a month ago. And the thing is that doesn't matter. My clothes didn't fit. My clothes fit. Yeah, they fit fine. They fit better at 148 or 146, but I wasn't working out. It was just that I was eating like I was just getting a little bit better at my eating or whatever. And what I never was able to do was measure my weight by clothing because I always had so much more fat and more skin around my midsection that I could never measure it that way. It was going to be tight and it was going to be bulgy and it was going to be the way that it is because it literally is it just wasn't going to be like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I had to wear all the shapers and all the things that kind of smoothed me out. But then what happened was that it bulged me out in other spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I had saved up I was saving up for the house, and I went to go get a consultation for a tummy tuck, because I couldn't walk around knowing that I had worked that hard, and I looked horrible without the clothes on, and I didn't want to feel confined anymore. The thing is
Mm-hmm.
that not everybody is going to be financially lucky or blessed or anything to be able to pay for a surgery, because it's cosmetic. You have to, you don't have, it's not insurance, right? So I'm paying for this, but I'm paying for something that's going to make me happy, because it's going to get rid of at least something that is just detrimental to my health. And I'm telling you, within 2 weeks that I had gotten that tummy tuck and the liposuction, my blood pressure was at 114.
And that is where I think, through consultations,
Mm-hmm.
if a therapist or whoever can say, like, you're going to avoid years of antidepressants or high blood pressure meds. If you can make that case, I think it should be covered. I think it should be covered by insurance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's the
That's a
thing.
good point. I never
Yeah.
thought of that.
But here's the thing. The gastric bypass, when I got it 17 years ago, was not covered by insurance either.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things have changed in the course of the time, right? But it's still cosmetic. It's still technically cosmetic. They're never going to say that the food that they're making and all the shit that they're putting in all the boxed foods and all the crap that they're putting in the grocery stores, that it's non-GMO. The FDA is never going to admit that the crap that they're serving us is what's making us have the high blood pressure and all that, to make us go on to medication, because it's all just a cash cow. But that's
Tina, calm down.
Sorry.
No, you're absolutely right.
No,
But
you're
that's
absolutely
how,
right.
and that's how it is.
You're right. But here's the thing. Time out. Here's the thing.
Sorry.
Okay. I've heard that. I think it's well documented now. It's well understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the American diet is probably the worst diet in the world. But that's not going to stop somebody from drinking a Coke. It's not going to stop. People have known for years that cigarettes are bad. People still smoke.
My mom died from that.
Yeah.
And
So it's not. I think, yes, there is a money talks, and that's why Captain Crunch is still on the shelf. But at the same time, money talks because people are still buying Captain Crunch, even though they're feeding basically spoonfuls of sugar to their children and themselves when they eat it. It doesn't matter. It goes back to what you said, that it's about you saying enough is enough. This is what I'm doing. And what I want people to really understand, the people that are sitting there struggling, the people that have done the yo-yo diets, the people that are on these paths, it's a process. You're not going to get a six-pack in 30 days unless you go through some incredibly unhealthy way of doing it. Mm-hmm. So I hit something you said.
Yes, yeah. So what I have learned over many, 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 many years of all of this is you cannot fit your lifestyle to a diet. I don't care what anybody says. If intermittent fasting does not work for you, because that is not your lifestyle, you just cannot do it. People are struggling to get on this fad diet and this fad diet and this and that. And what they have to understand is that a diet or a lifestyle is supposed to fit into your lifestyle. So what I like to do is I like to incorporate a few different things, right? So Weight Watchers, I always loved Weight Watchers because it always said, you can have whatever you want. It just has to be in moderation. I will say that Weight Watchers will always be right back here, ingrained in the back of my head, because I was on it for so many years, but it was because they said, you want your cookie? You can have the cookie. You have to allot the points for it, and that's what their system was. But their system was just a point system, but it wasn't. It's like that Noom or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to think about it in a different way. You want that cookie, you can have it, but here's a different alternative to it. Or you want the noodles, well, here's this. You can have anything. And So I like to incorporate, well, if I'm not hungry until 11 o'clock, then I'm not going to eat until 11 o'clock. But if I'm hungry at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to freaking eat at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to wait because my head hurts so badly when I don't eat. And I'm working all day, and it's like, okay, if I'm supposed to work all day and I don't get to eat in the 7 hours that I'm supposed to eat, then how is that going to work for my lifestyle?
Mhm.
Right.
So the diets and all of the ways that people want to do things, if your lifestyle cannot work for that diet, then why are you trying to incorporate that type of lifestyle? Like, it's just not going to work. So you're never going to stay on track, and then you're going to get derailed. And I think, let me hit on the drinking part. I think that because I know how I feel is way better without the alcohol, I can say I don't want it anymore. But we all need food. And nobody can say, well, I'm just not going to eat today. Yeah, okay, you can be like my boyfriend and say I'm only going to eat once a day. But is that literally going to be like healthy, or are you going to be able to sustain that? No, because when you go to the Bears game and against the Packers and you want to eat all the food that I put out there, you're going to eat all day. So you can't just pick and choose. Okay, well, today, yeah, you could, but is it really going to work and be healthy for you?
Yeah,
So
I get what you're saying. I feel like you're saying just basically you got to find what works for you.
works for you,
Yeah,
right?
and don't really uh, when you get discouraged or when you get complacent or when you have your cheat day, just don't make your cheat day all
That
day.
bad.
Don't make the cheat day all weekend. Don't, you know, things like that. I look, the world's different now, so that's why I think we have these weight issues. I think most of us are now living more sedentary lifestyles where we're sitting down more than back in the day in World War II, where you had to farm for food. Or I don't know if that's even accurate, but you guys know what I'm saying with that.
Yeah. Well, look, I
Yeah.
mean, I have my kickboxing bag in my living room.
Yeah.
That's my living room. That's where I'm sitting. Like I finally just said, you know what? I want my place to look really nice, but at the same time, I need to have that bag where I'm going to use it. And if I'm not going to have my stuff where I'm going to use it, guess what's going to happen? I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And that's where, like, today was technically my first day of, like, not that I made a New Year's resolution, nothing like that, but like I know that if everybody else is going to be on this journey, I'm going to be doing it with them, right?
Right.
And the thing is when you have more support around you,
Mm-hmm.
you do better. You just do better. And I think everybody doing the whole January, getting on a new, eating, I think that's great for everybody because it starts off the year great. But you got to remember that tomorrow is a new day. All right. So I had a lot of bread today. I know that today was my first day back to eating a lot. Well, guess what? I made better decisions on what I did, and I didn't eat all the bread that I, brought.
Right.
But I still wanted my freaking bread. I made it. I'm going
Yeah.
to eat it.
Yeah.
But I always say that tomorrow is a new day. Okay, so, you started your diet off wrong on Monday. Next Monday. No, not next Monday. Tomorrow. You know
Yeah.
what? 12-hour increments. I ate too much bread before 12 o'clock. Guess what? My next 12 hours, I'm not going to eat as much bread. Do it in 12-hour increments.
All
Who
right.
cares?
So
Something like
so
that.
let's tie this up in a bow because we're getting
Mhm.
to about an hour here. If you were, what would you like to say to somebody out there who wants to get back on their path? What would you say? What's the one thing that you would tell them?
Plan. You have to plan it out
Plan
somehow.
what? Meals? Plan working out?
Just plan you if you have something in mind, if you, like, for me, okay, this is what I'm doing. I knew that today I had to, no matter what, do my taekwondo workout tonight, and I did my 30-second plank this morning. I know that I had to do that. So if you have a set schedule, or if you have something and you have certain times and you need a plan, well, I'm going to make this workout no matter what this night. And you have to just set aside that 30 minutes. If you say I'm going to
So make a
only eat
plan
out
and stick to it.
and stick to it, I'm going to only eat, 3 times my bread. I love my bread. but I'm not going out to Panera I'm not going out to Panera and eating that bread and then going out to Portillo's the next day and eating that bread. I'm eating my bread that I ate in small portions, right?
Mhm.
So if you just don't make bad decisions for every single meal and you start changing those little things and planning out a little bit better, you don't have to meal prep, you don't have to cook for the whole week, but little steps going that way become a new habit. And that new habit becomes just a part of you. So then the next new thing that you're going to do that you got to work on will be a little bit easier because you won't have to focus on the last one that you just worked on. If that
All right.
makes
No,
sense.
yeah, no, that makes sense. No, makes sense. Hey, first off, before we get into the gauntlet, it's a new thing we got going here. I do want to say thank you for being candid. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being honest and just sharing people that if one person hears this and gets expired, that's what I want. So I hope that helps out. Tina, are you ready for the gauntlet?
Yes.
You're probably not. It's 5 questions. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
what
shit.
I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start having a tally. Okay.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to start have a tally of who's going to be the all-time winner in this when we have guests on. Okay. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are they
And
timed?
no, they're not.
No.
We're just going to judge your response. Some of these questions are from the game. I wish I didn't know. So some of them can get a little iffy,
Little racy.
Okay.
little race.
Oh yes.
It's
Okay.
not an all ages game.
No, it's not. All right. So here's question number 1. You ready?
Yes.
All right. If you want to make fun of the boss without him knowing, tell the office his nickname in college was the Chode. The Chode is slang for A, an obese person, B, a fat dick, C, a person who orgasms in under 30 seconds,
Mm.
D, a crooked dick.
2. B.
That answer is correct.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but that answer is correct. All right, Tina, 1 point.
Thank
Congrats.
you. Mhm.
So I own this game as well. That question came up during our New Year's Eve party.
Oh, yeah.
And have you guys seen the movie Wanderlust? It's got a ton of people in it, but Paul Rudd is in it. And
Okay.
I've heard of it.
It's Paul Rudd and his
Oh,
wife.
yes,
I can't
yes,
remember.
yes. And Jennifer Aniston.
And Jennifer Aniston. So
Yes.
they're good. They go to like
Hippie.
almost like a commune kind of thing for like to try to reconnect. And at one point, he is trying to gear himself up for sex, and he is standing in front of a mirror, and he's just like, "Do you want it? Do you want that dick?" And he just goes off. Look it up on YouTube. It is hilarious. I think they just said, Paul, we're just going to put the camera on you.
Go off.
And you just do your thing.
You do your thing, and I'm sure there's probably a 10-minute reel of him just going off until they finally said, "Okay, go stop him now."
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a 10-minute reel in the 40-year-old virgin where they go, you know how I know you're gay? You know, him and Seth Rogen were going back and forth. I'm sure that's like 30 minutes of raw footage somewhere.
I actually used that line on my future nephew-in-law over Christmas because he gave my mom a plaid shirt, and he's like, "Hey, and you know what? That's buffalo plaid." And I said, "What?" He's like, "That's buffalo plaid." I looked at it. His name's Garrett. I'm like, "Garrett, do you know how I know you're gay?" And my brother just
All right, question 2. You ready?
Question 2.
Yes.
Some insects burn rubber in the name of survival. Which bug can hit speeds up to 1.7 miles per hour to escape being killed? Is it A, an ant, B, cockroaches, C, stink bugs, D, termites?
Well, if you've ever gone after a cockroach, they can get pretty fucking fast. Not that fast. So what was the 4th one?
4th one was
termite. Termite. Let's go with termite.
Final answer.
Yes.
You are incorrect. It is
Yeah.
cockroach. You should have stuck with
Ah, damn it!
La cucaracha.
You are 1 for 2.
Okay, that's okay.
Here we go.
50%.
Yeah,
Better
here we
than
go.
the Bears. Oh nope, they're at 50. They're at 5. They're at 8 and 8.
Who?
Bears.
No.
Why the fuck would you bring them up again?
Oh, I'm
Why
sorry.
would you do that? Yes, they're 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
And we backed into the playoffs.
I'm sorry.
Backed
My bad.
backed
Yeah,
in.
we won't see you
Anyway,
guys.
all right, question 3. Try not to laugh at the next family dinner when mom asks dad to toss the salad. If only mom knew that tossing the salad is slang for A, giving a sloppy blowjob, B, being eaten out, C, sex where the female wears a strap on, D, getting your butthole licked.
The fourth one.
Butthole licked? Is that what you said? You are correct, and I don't. You got chud right, and you got that.
Chode.
Chode. Sorry, chode.
Chode and tossing the salad, but I can't get the cockroach right. I was almost there.
Girl,
right,
you
so-
nasty.
Yeah, so we're 2 for 3. All right, here we go. A little bit more for the kids here. The original The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Christian Andersen, was way darker than anyone else realized. At the end of the story, the mermaid, A, kills the prince when he doesn't love her back, B, swims away never to return, C, kills herself to obtain immortality, D, sleeps with the prince's dad.
3.
Kills herself to obtain immortality?
Probably not. It's probably A.
A, kills the
I think
prince when he doesn't love her
Love
back.
her back. Sure, it's one of the two.
Okay, well, give me one of the two.
Commit.
I'm honestly gonna go with C.
Okay, C is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job. Nice
Yeah.
job. So we have 3 right, 1 wrong. Last
Oh,
one.
I'm sweaty.
Last
I'm
one.
sweaty.
Last
Whew.
one.
Okay.
Here we go. There's a super volcano underneath Yellowstone National Park, and its eruption would equal the force of 1,000 atomic bombs. The worst news is that we know it's erupting this year. B, there's an elementary school surrounding it. Elementary schools surrounding it. C, another eruption is long overdue. D, you can't feel the eruption until the lava drowns you.
C.
Another eruption is long overdue. That would be correct, Tina. Way to go. That is.
So I only said the cockroaches.
And the
4
thing
out of
about that volcano is like it would literally blow out the entire Midwest.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'd be gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's a planet killer. I mean if
Yes.
that thing blows up, we're all dead.
And then Illinois is on the biggest fault line.
You know what's crazy about that last question? Do you know how long we're overdue for an extinction?
A very long.
Yeah.
Well, that's what 2020 was supposed to happen, and then Trump, whatever. You know, it's not gonna get.
It's not 2020. It wasn't supposed to happen at Y2K.
No, I'm just saying 2020 was the next. You know,
I thought the Mayan calendar wasn't it 2012?
it was supposed.
That's when it was supposed to end too. Yeah.
According to
Yeah.
John Cusack, yeah.
Yeah, according to. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Tina. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you had I hope you had a good time. Thank you again for being candid. Greg, what do you anything you have to say before we leave?
A couple of things. One, I'm super excited because tomorrow it happens. And by the time people listen to this, it'll be yesterday. So yesterday on audible.com, they released the next series of Star Wars novels called The High Republic. And it's our first Disney-fied look at like Star Wars The Old Republic. And I'm super excited about it. People could get that book for free if they go to audibletrial.com/JATG. audibletrial.com/JATG. You get 1 month trial and it's on us. So you're welcome. The next thing as we head into the new year, it's our first show. Is this 99 or is this 100?
No, this is the 100th episode.
At our 100th episode, Tina is on our 100th episode. Our big word of advice for everybody out there is don't be a douche.
Yeah.
And if you are, at least smell good.
I think we'll end it there. All right. So for Tina, Johnny, and the Greg, podcast out, guys. Have a good one.